Xiao, welcome to my channel Xiao Yarn. Today I'll be sharing the process of creating an elegant and practical Biscornu pincushion using the traditional Sashiko pattern Asanoha, the hemp leaf. For this 2-hand-sized pincushion, you'll need top and bottom fabric pieces, both measuring 16 by 16 cm. Each should have a front layer and an inner liner. I'm using the same fabric for both layers of the bottom piece. 2 buttons, approximately 300 grams, about 2 cups of crushed walnut shell for the filling. I'll explain why this is the best material for pincushion filling later. And of course, your usual Sashiko and sewing supplies. Links to all the materials are in the description under the video. Step 1. Drawing the Asanoha hemp leaf pattern. Fold your fabric twice to locate the center. Mark a 12 by 12 cm square with this reference. Then create a 1.5 cm by 3 cm grid. I've been using this Hera Marker a lot. I found it's very eco-friendly and efficient. You can also find the link in the description under the video. Then let's draw the actual pattern. Start from the center, draw diagonal lines across the grid. Skip one grid here and draw the next line. Repeat till you fill up the whole frame. Do the same to the opposite direction. Start from the center, draw the diagonal line, skip one grid and draw the next. Now you already have another traditional Sashiko pattern, Ishimoyo, the diamond pattern. I'll mark the diamond intersections for clarity for the next step. Add the vertical lines. So far you should see the hexagonal outlines clearly. And let's deal with inner lines. Firstly, find your center point. Following these dots I marked earlier, line your ruler across the diamond. Draw lines between 2 grids without extending them. Again, find the intersections we marked before. Draw a line between 2 grids. Skip one. And draw another. Don't forget the half portion. Do this for all the crossing points and in both directions. They should link to the previous lines you drew. Then complete the horizontal lines by connecting these 2 points, skipping the part in between. There are many variations for Asanoha, the hemp leaf. I chose this 1:2 proportion grid for an easy square format. Your drawing of Asanoha is complete. Step 2. Sewing the Sashiko pattern. Now let's sew. Give a measure of your lines. You want the same number of stitches for the same length. Start without a knot. To keep the neatness, you want to leave an extra space at the intersections. And smooth it out. This is how your line should look like. Even stitches with extra space at the intersections. And keep sewing. Leaving a tiny tail to prevent fabric bunching. with this simple Ishimoyo diamond pattern, your fabric is way more sturdy than before. This is why you see the pattern in many traditional Sashiko borrowed pieces. It is just so practical. If any line is distant, to save thread, leave it for later, you'll get there. Next, sew vertical lines. I'll skip this line because I want to add some colorful thread later. Then sew the zigzag lines like this to save the most of your thread. Again, leave a tiny tail to avoid fabric bunching. If you're a beginner, you might find this project a bit challenging. I recommend you check out my Sashiko Basics series to grasp the essentials. Link is in the description. This is how I usually use my thread scraps. I save them and later add them to patterns that I want to add some colors to. And don't forget the two sides. Lastly, sew the horizontal lines. Skip the empty spots like this. And don't forget the little part that we did not reach before. Voila, here you go, you saw your hemp leaf pattern, Asanoha. Eventually, I'll add a frame 5mm away from the pattern, just to give it a complete look. By the way, if you have a second, please subscribe, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. It will help this channel grow, and you'll be contributing to future content like this one. Step 3. Assembling the pincushion. I'll mark another square 5mm away from the outer frame, which makes it 14 by 14 cm square. Mark the middle points on each side too. Do the same thing to the bottom piece. Mark a 14 by 14 cm square and all the middle points on each side. Join the front layers and inner liners. Position the top and bottom fabric pieces right side facing each other. Align the top piece's corner with the bottom midpoint and the bottom corner with the top midpoint. Pin them together and transfer these points to the fabric's wrong side for clarity. I'm using regular cotton thread here. Make a knot. Start with a couple of loops to secure the corner. And finish the rest with back stitches. When you reach to the end point, add a couple of loops to secure it. And turn your next half side of the top piece 90 degrees and line up the corner point of the top piece with the middle point of the bottom piece and repeat the previous step. lining up each half line and sew them together. You can trim up the corners if you find it's hard to turn. Keep going till you reach the last half line. Tie a knot. You want to leave this part open. Trim excess fabric but leave the opening edge longer. Iron your seams open to achieve crisp folds. And turn the fabric inside out. Voila! And here is how you reach the mystical octagonal shape from the squares. Step 4. Filling the pincushion with ground walnut shell. Firstly, make sure your opening side of the pincushion is folded so no walnut shells will get into the fabric layers. Ground walnut shell is a favorite filling for pincushion. It sharpens needles and pins upon insertion, and its weight adds stability to the cushion. Walnut shells are resistant to moisture, so it can minimize the risk of rust on pins and needles. Fill the pincushion until it is firmly packed. Close the opening using a whip stitch. Start by hiding your knot under the fold. As you stitch, angle your needle slightly so each new stitch aligns with the previous one. After finishing the stitching, tie a knot. And weave the needle back through the folds, hiding any excess thread. Step 5. Secure ring buttons on the pincushion. At this point, your cushion should already be sturdy. But to make it even more sturdy, select 2 of your favorite buttons. Take your longest needle and fold your thread, and thread the needle with open end. Next, locate the center of your cushion using your thumb and index finger. Press while turning like this to create 2 dimples in the cushion. Then, position your chosen buttons over these dimples. Starting from the underside of the cushion, push your needle up through the bottom button, then pass the needle through the top button, leaving a small loop of thread, and return and pass through the bottom one again. Here, you want your needle to go through the loop you left earlier. This will help secure the buttons tightly. Pull the thread, then push the needle back down through the same hole to secure the loop. And keep sewing your buttons just in a regular way. Continue with this process, tightening with each pass to make your cushion more and more sturdy. Keeping the cushion flat on the desk can help you locate the buttonholes easily. To finish, bring the needle out close to the bottom button. Create a few loops around it. And tie off the thread with knots for added security. Congratulations, your pincushion is ready. Feel free to try different patterns and sizes. In the beginning, you'll feel it's a bit tight while inserting needles, but with use, they'll slide in very easily, and your needles will be very heavy. And don't forget to share your creations inspired by this channel on Instagram by tagging xiaoxiaoyarn. This video is brought to you for free. By liking, sharing, and commenting on the video, you help support the creation of more future content like this. Any donations are also greatly appreciated. The link is in the description. Happy stitching! See you soon!